Hello everyone, greetings from National Skills Network, which is popularly known as NSN. And today we have a guest with us, Mr. Deepak Mehrotra, who's country manager for LabTech International. If you're wondering what LabTech International is into, they have a huge global presence and they are doing phenomenal work in creating the equipment for TVET, that's Technical and Vocational Training and Education, and helping several institutions around the world being based in Southeast Asia. Let's hear more from Mr. Mehrotra. So welcome to this conversation, Mr. Deepak Mehrotra. Tell us more about LabTech and the value you are adding to practical training, which is so essential in any skill-based training program.
Thank you, Madhuri ji. Actually, I've been observing the activities of NSN for some time, and I must congratulate you that you are doing a wonderful job in,
Thank you.
In people like us who are distributed across the country or across the world to access what is happening in the country absolutely almost at the same time as things are happening. So I think you've really done a great job, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and about LabTech International Limited, this company is based in Batam, which is about 20 nautical miles from Singapore, very close to Singapore, and headed by a gentleman called Dr. Stephen McKee, who is the second generation TVET specialist from the US. And he started manufacturing, technical vocational education training equipment, which typically means that we help set up laboratories inside very specific, areas of automobile, which are job oriented, automobile, refrigeration, air conditioning, electrical engineering, electronics engineering, and now green technology. And also, so within these, there are some sub areas like the building management, which is a part of electrical, and medical electronics, which is a part of electronics. So we are also doing a lot of work in these areas, which are very specifically required by the people who need jobs in these spaces, like the healthcare is a big growing area now. So we need a lot of people specializing in the medical electronics area. What we bring to table particularly is that we work at one side with the industry, which means that, for example, giving you an example of automobile, we work very closely with Toyota and other Asian car manufacturers. And at the other side, we work with the institutions like the polytechnics and the, as you call it in India, Industrial Technical Institute, or, they're called by several things like technical schools and other countries, ITIs in India. So, so we collaborate with these organizations, and once we have built a training system with fault simulation and other things, we actually test them in these institutions. So we get the feedback from teachers and the actual practitioners of in those institutions, and with that feedback, we evolve this particular equipment. So far we have manufactured in these areas about more than 1,000 training systems spread across all these areas that I just talked about. And each system actually solves a typical problem. I'll just give you an example of, for example, we got recently an order from a country called Barbados in South America for electrical car training. So they specifically wanted us to work on the Nissan, Nissan's Leaf car, which is basically electrical car. So we actually cut sectioned the entire car. We created simulated, faults inside that system, and that whole car then went to Barbados, which is actually a training, training car basically, and it can also be driven. And so the point I'm making here is that we work very closely with the industry to understand what the industry is evolving and need, and with the institution what they require to fulfill their curriculum. And we work at the edge of technology, always evolving our systems. For example, we make about 20-30% of our systems redundant every year. So coming from here, and this conversation I'm sure would go in that direction, is that it is important for the learner, especially in the time of COVID and the time when you cannot really attend your school, to have access to digital resources so that you can reduce the time of classroom. So and we knew that this is going to happen. So we were preparing for this for the last several years, not that COVID would happen, but more and more people would rely on, distance education and especially digital. So we had resources, developed in these specific areas. For example, automobile HVAC. We have a host of resources which are available on our very unique website called the LabTech Academy.
Yeah.
And with this LabTech Academy, once you register, you give a pre-test, and once you've given a pre-test, then you go on to accessing the learning materials. And the learning material is far interactive. It's not the regular YouTube videos, etc. It is actually, for instance, if you were to look at an alternator, which is the heart of a car, basically you will be able to split out the each part of an alternator, see each part. For example, there is a casing part. The casing part you can turn around and see. So it's an interactive method by which you can sort of look at each part, understand each part, and then go on to the animation, and also see how it works inside a vehicle. So it takes you step by step, and what we typically call as the learning loops.
Yeah.
Which typically means when you are assessed formatively for these things, and if you give an incorrect answer, it takes you to the place where you are learning, so that you are able to correct yourself, and you only move ahead after you have learned that concept. Because technical vocational education training, you cannot score 80 or 90%. Either you are 100% or you're not there. So you have to know everything. I mean, you can't go to a technician and who knows about 80% of his job. He needs to know everything about that particular aspect. So when you give a certificate, he has to know everything. Yeah. So these learning loops become very, very important for us to train students, and also now teachers, because they are the first. Actually, our first customers are the teachers, because they are the ones who have to become comfortable in understanding these digital. Our first contact with the teacher, that we have developed a suite of products for teachers. The first product is to be able to use LabTech Academy to train, basically, so that how to give assignments, how to map it to your curriculum, what are the areas that you should be aware when you are actually migrating from a regular classroom teaching to a digital teaching. So we do about an 8-hour program for these teachers, and it's very popular. We are doing a lot of work with an organization called TESDA in Philippines, which is something like NSDC in India. We are working in Peru, and various other South American countries, and now South Africa and other places. In India, I'm sure the question will come to India. What are we doing in India? Since I'm the country manager for India, we have been doing traditional business in India. We have established some good labs in India in the area of refrigeration, air conditioning. One of the labs that we have created is in Mangalore, which is a Government of India organization called KGTTI, Karnataka German Technical Training Institute, where we have set up 3-level labs: basic air conditioning, domestic air conditioning, and industrial air conditioning. Okay. And we have, so it's a mixed learning. It's basically a hybrid learning. So you can learn on the digital medium, and then you go onto the actual machine to do your experiments. Yeah. So this is one that we have established. We are also working with the Odisha government. They have a very interesting new World Skills Center coming up in Bhubaneswar. Right. And we are one of the largest contractors for establishing their HVAC, which is heating, ventilation, air conditioning lab systems. Again, from basic to domestic to industrial to commercial, and so we are in the process of setting up our labs there. But the good thing that we bring to table is that we also club it with and empower the teacher to not only teach in those labs, but to be able to teach the students while they're at home. Right. So as to reduce the classroom time. Every technical program has a classroom time and a lab time. So the education that we provide through our digital resources is able to reduce considerably the classroom time, freeing up the teacher's time to be able to teach on the equipment directly, which because it's very important to teach technical subject on the equipment practically.
So as I understand few points from what you just told us, whatever solutions LabTech is offering is going to contribute in a very big way to practical training, which is certified by the industry, I would say, because you are working closely with big brands, let's say in automotive industry or the refrigeration industry. Correct. I think this is also going to address another issue, particularly in India, as you must have seen and observed for so many years. Getting good practical training for vocational students is very, very difficult here. Correct.
Correct.
right? And also the location of the training. I mean, see, like going to an industry and spending time in the industry. Believe me, I have done some industry visits as a part of my learning process through NSN. These were conducted by CII, and the amount of learning I had by visiting 4 or 5 industries is humongous. But to get access to the industry and see how the equipment works or how the machinery works, it's not easy at all. So I think this is something great, and perhaps many Indians would benefit from your solutions there.
Sure,
They
sure.
are able to, have access to them. And another important point I noticed going through your courses was that, like you said, they are very immersive. They make us, do hands-on in the virtual
Correct,
environment itself,
correct, correct.
which is like a puzzle or something, which is a bit gaming is also involved there.
It
We
is.
have
We
noticed.
use gaming.
Yeah,
Usually, we use gaming to
yeah,
interest basically the young population because they want interesting
yeah.
stuff to happen on the
Yes,
courses.
and I think that's something very essential also in subjects which are very vocational and very manual. When you are doing it in a virtual environment, just by looking at a picture which is static, or just by looking at an animation which moves, I don't think we learn a lot. But unless, like we say, you try with your hands, I think that opportunity is great. So these are a couple of highlights which I would also like to share, having gone through the website and seen the academy, the courses, couple of courses. I would like to know more now at this point. How has this post-COVID situation helped you? Do you see a lot of positive response to the solutions you are offering? And second thing I would also like to know from you is, do you see an attitudinal change, let's say in the teachers, trainers, administrators, etc., who saw technology as a threat for a very long time? Okay, now I think befriending technology or working with technology is becoming a part of the normal life. So
Correct.
what do you have to say to this?
Yeah. So I mean, when you are sort of working with technology, for example, Zoom itself is a very great medium.
Yeah.
You can use, the teachers can teach through Zoom uh, many subjects, including TVET, of course. You use open source LMSs like the MOOCs or Canvas and others. But as you move forward, so if you are entering into the technical domain, you enter with these tools. But as you move forward, when you move to adoption, then you use specific online LMS with good content,
Yeah.
and then you adapt and move towards interactive content. And then which is so instead of just having a YouTube to explain to you in a passive way, you have an interactive content in which you can interact with the medium and you can learn by doing things on the content. And and since we are, as I told you, we use a lot of gaming in our in our program development, so therefore it becomes interesting. And then as you infuse more and more, and as you evolve in your technology usage, then you use what is called as a non-linear learning. So you can pick up a subject, you can learn that part, and then move on to another part. You do not have to move sequentially. And then and the last and not the least is when we use the artificial intelligence to be able to understand what the student wants.
Yeah.
For instance, when we do our pre-test, it tells us what is it that he already knows and what he does not know. So the AI helps us in being able to give those questions to him first, and if those learnings to him first, in which he is either unaware or he has not answered correctly.
Okay.
So therefore, AI, artificial intelligence, helps us in assessment, almost on a real-time basis as to what he is lacking, and then to offer those elements of that particular course to him first, so that he is able to practice. Because it's very important in anything to be able to practice. So then he practices all that, and then he moves forward and then learns more. And what we have observed in since you asked a very specific question about our experience, LabTech Academy has already been seen in almost like 150 countries. We are supplying our technical vocational equipment to about 80 countries across the world, but the LabTech Academy has already gone into 150 countries. We have got some wonderful data, which I wanted to just broadly share with you on the kind of results that we have got from. So we have seen that about 74.3% students have accessed this out of about 25,000 users so far. 74.3% are students, 11.6% are instructors or teachers, and then there are some practitioners, so about 10% practitioners, and then miscellaneous. But what is important for us to see here is that, and there's some real data, is that in the, I will give you examples of HVAC is one area in which we give content, is that when, and there is a specific thing called the cold room refrigeration in this thing. So when we did the pre-test, the average pre-test of about 408,000 users, the pre-test score stands at 4.54 out of 10. But when they did their post-test in the same area, cold room refrigeration post-test, they averaged about 9.61, which is evidenced by the fact that they were able to go through it and they were able to understand the concepts. The good thing is that they are given several choices in their post-test, so they can choose their best results. But still, they got 9.61 on an average. It is important to understand what digital education can do to you to be able to change your understanding of that. Of course, it is important for you to, like you mentioned, that you went to industry and the kind of learning was humongous. Of course, you have to go down to a physical equipment to learn or a physical car to learn. But once you do this, you get the confidence to be able to do that much better.
Yeah.
You're not, once you have seen an engine in a virtual plane, when you see it actually, it's like reading a book about and then seeing a movie based on that book. You are able to appreciate far better.
Yeah.
So when you go actually to that equipment or to the training system which has fault simulation, you do much better.
Yeah.
In that sense.
So
it's a great preparatory.
Yeah. That connect was very interesting to see, how we read, and then the familiarity helps us to overcome that initial resistance to something new.
Yes.
Yeah. So that being said, do you see any considerable improvement in, say, students who have undergone through these courses when they go for a job or, when they take up some work? How prepared are they? Do you have any any statistics to illustrate this?
We are working in South Africa with an HVAC major, Samsung.
Okay.
Samsung and this Samsung has a training organization in South Africa who uses a particular customized training platform which is prepared by us to reach out to all their technical staff basically. And they found that whoever has done well, and there are all kinds of students, the entry level students, the people who have been working there for some time, and even the experienced workers there. All the three sets of people have given us wonderful feedback as to the kind of training that they've had, when they go through the LabTech Academy. But the proof of the pudding is in its eating. So really, Samsung has in South Africa, if you do not have a Samsung certificate in those specific areas in which you have to practice, you're not allowed to practice.
Okay.
So therefore, both the company there and us have come to an understanding that, and we are now training the teachers there. We are also doing a lot of online preparatory for the students there, and we are supporting them. Besides, of course, the LabTech Academy, which of course they can access anytime. We are doing specific programs for them to be able to take it to the next level of understanding, and so that they are able to use it on the ground. So this is a real example of how a company is using LabTech Academy to certify their people to be able to do job much better. In fact, some of the feedback that we've had is from the senior practitioners. For example, a practitioner in South America, in Peru, has come back and said that, had I known this, or if this was available to me 5-10 years back, I mean, my career graph would have moved differently.
Okay.
So therefore, it is of great value.
Yeah.
It is just that, we have to engage with it, we have to do it, and then we get that value and then move forward.
Yeah. I think the interesting point here is the industry reinforcing on the certification, then I think the skills will have more value, because currently, at least in India, we often hear about industry not respecting the kind of skilling certificates they have and things, but when it is reinforced from that side, it makes a lot of difference. Correct. So one last point I would like to know from you is how customizable are your solutions, say location wise, geography wise, or culture-wise? Let's say you're offering something in South America, then you want to offer something in India. So how do you customize that?
Yeah, so I mean, let me talk about India particularly, and with a few examples. I think I did mention earlier, but I would mention it again, that we are vendor neutral in terms of our training systems and the learning resources, which means that if you are learning on a LabTech Academy portal or you're learning on a LabTech equipment, you are preparing for anyone in the industry. I mean, it's not just focused on, let's say, a Toyota or a Nissan or a General Motors, or it is open to everybody. So therefore, we try to make an equipment which is vendor neutral. And therefore, this equipment helps the student to be able to land jobs in all those kind of different areas, learning from here. Now, having said that, in India, when we work with customers, I mean, I can give you a real example of KGTTI. KGTTI had a curriculum. Yeah. So we suggested, they said that, well, we have to set up a lab to meet this curriculum. What do you suggest? So we gave them a configuration of our training systems. Now that configuration of training system and the placement on the lab. And we also said that we will complement it with the digital training, which the teachers can also give the students at this institute and also offline. I mean, when they're at home or even on their mobile phones, etc. So we made all those things accessible to them. So everything that happens in that lab and the classroom is focused on the curriculum that they want to achieve. Now, how did they arrive at that curriculum? KGTTI is a fairly evolved model, as you may be aware, is that they work very closely with the industry. So they worked in the refrigeration air conditioning. They talked to everybody. They talked to Samsung, the LG, the Volta, the Blue Star, and everybody. And they got this, and this was the curriculum they wanted to do after having consulted them. So having consulted and having got a curriculum, then we matched our training systems to that curriculum, and we set it up. So therefore, it is finding more and more participants. In fact, to tell you the truth, it's a training center for the technical education, but even NIT Surathkal, which is in Bangalore, sends their students at times because they do not have their equipment. Even in NIT, what we have set up in a training, which is a skill training institute in Bangalore. Similarly, what we are doing in Odisha right now is, again, this is being done by ITE Singapore, which is also a very, very evolved, organization in Singapore. So they decide as to what is the curriculum, how they want. So we are working behind ITE Singapore. But ITE has also done a lot of research with the industry. They have worked on a curriculum, which also is in consultation. And I have been in consultation with ITE in many, many such places. For instance, when they wanted to do work in the area of refrigeration air conditioning, they had consultative sessions in Pune, for instance, where all the refrigeration air conditioning majors came in and they gave their input as to what do they want in their curriculum. And that curriculum got developed. And based on that curriculum, then they designed the lab. We then helped them design that lab. And in fact, we did more than what they had asked for. They did not ask for a few things. We still gave them, in terms of training systems. And in fact, they did not ask for digital training, and we have given them digital training also in the World Skills Center, which is going to come up in Odisha. So I think that's how we are aligning it to the industry and the requirement of the industry. Because obviously the distribution is happening from the institution. The institution is preparing students, and obviously KGTTI is doing a great job. And I hope that when we are able to set up this institute in Odisha, this will it will be like a benchmark in refrigeration air conditioning training in India.
So I think this was a very interesting example, and I'm sure it's going to make a lot of difference with all the world-class equipment these two places are going to get. Besides all this, would you want to share something else to all that you said so far?
Yeah, so I mean, again, answering your last question, it's very important to build employable skills in people who want to either become an entrepreneur or an employee in the industry in that space. We are doing very closely. We are working with the MSME, which is basically preparing people in also the informal sector. So we are working with 3 of their technology centers. But they used to be called tool rooms earlier. Now they're called technology centers. One of them is called IGTR, Indo-German Tool Room in Aurangabad. The other is a technology center in Bhiwadi in Rajasthan, very close to Delhi. And the third is in Sitarganj in Uttarakhand. In all these 3 places, we are setting up the world-class Autotronics lab. automotive electronics lab,
Okay.
which is in fact now 60-70% of the car is either IT or electronics. So
Right.
therefore, there is a huge focus on electronics. So we have helped them develop this system, and we are now going to deliver it within a few months. We will have it up and running, and in these places we will also have a full complement of our digital resources available to whoever wants there, who wants to learn from there, basically. And as a matter of good gesture, to begin with, we are offering it free of cost to these three clients, particularly. Now, coming down to customization, they wanted the vehicles. We are also supplying to them some real vehicles. So they wanted the vehicles which are popular in India. So we looked at Suzuki, we looked at Hyundai, we looked at Toyota, and those kind of models we are supplying to them, which are so that when the student learns on those, I mean, he's not learning on let's say a model which is not available in India. He's going to learn on a model which is available in India, and so therefore we make learning which is very, very applicable to the local industry. So these are some of the things that we are working. Also going to work in Madhya Pradesh. They are going to set up a global skill park. Possibly in the future, we will work with them as well, and others as we move forward. And also we have this whole desire to work with NSDC to be on the eSkill India platform to reach out to as many people as possible.
Okay. Let's hope you accomplish all these plans that you have. I wish you all the best to your team and LabTech. Thank you so much for talking to me today. It was good learning about LabTech and the amount of valuable work that is happening, with your collaboration in many TVET schools and colleges and universities. Thanks a lot. I look forward to be in touch with you.
Thank you so much, Madhurji, for having me.